come tournament time, you see a lot of things happen. You see upsets, you see blowouts, you see bad performance. Sometimes matches, games, whatever, get ugly. And when they do, there's going to be a winner and a loser. And it's, you work forever on the little things. So when you get into that, you have a better chance of being the winner than the loser. I give credit to Tulane, a lot of credit to Tulane, how they played us. I mean, that first set, they were lights out. Obviously they found out a secret that we've been hiding for a while, intentionally. And they took advantage of it, and I give our team credit. I thought we went out there and we weathered the storm that first set. We kind of snuck our way through the second set, found a way to go up 2-1. The fourth set just wasn't going to go our way. But we were already preparing for, how we're going to handle the fifth set. And that's what we did. We needed every one of McKenna's 21 kills, but there were a lot of hidden performances that even the most savvy of volleyball fan wouldn't even understand. This was a match that we could easily have lost, but we chose not to. I really believe that. I believe that everything that we've put into this program, the culture, what we do, how we do it. We got every excuse in the world, but a lot of teams have excuses. We could have canceled this weekend and said, you know what, we're not 100%. We're not going to play. And no, this team has worked way too hard to do that, and I have too much respect for them to do that. We're going to come up here and we're going to play with what we had, and we're going to try and put the best product on the floor we could. You heard me say that earlier in the week. Put the best product on the floor we could. I knew what was going on. I am really proud. Drezzy has not played since the Florida State match. I'm really proud of how she just went out there and just gritted it out. Stella has not played at all this year and went out there and performed. Chloe has not really played since the Florida State match, and she went out there and gave us some great passes and digs. All in all, I thought our ball handling was really good. I thought we were in system a lot. We had a hard time scoring. That's not much of a surprise considering we've been running an offense for 10 weeks that we had 2 days to change. And you can't just go in the gym at the end of the year and practice for 4 hours because your bodies are tired. Everybody's wore out. So we had to get the most that we could out of 90, 95 minutes, altering and changing our offense, finding out what's going to work, what's not, how far of our envelope can we push and where do we have to play it safe? Was it the same team that we've had out there during the year? No, but it was the same gritty team that we've had out there all year long. And, I give Drezzy a lot of credit for that because she went out there and really just performed. And I thought that was a big part of it. I thought our serve came up huge when it mattered. I thought making little plays. We had our blips in communication. When you remove one player from the ingredient, it's like taking sugar out of a donut, and we replaced it with something else. And, we still found a way to make the donut taste good. People don't think that removing one player is that much of a difference, but it can be. The nice thing is Drezzy went in there and made it, so it wasn't that bad. And I'm really proud of her. I am really, really proud of how she went out there and just gritted things out. A lot of hidden performances, a lot of serving performances, quick plays, great digs, good lineups, things that we call just it happened and we made the play right away. That credit goes to Brian and Jenny again, because they put our players in position to be successful. Jenny put Drezzy in a position to be successful. And then when you got the best player on the floor, which we did, I told McKenna earlier, I said, this might be back to the old days where you're taking 70 swings tonight. Well, it was 67. I was close. And she didn't whine. She didn't complain. She went out there and said, whatever the team needs, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do. She passed great. She played defense great. Serve, receive, blocking. McKenna's the league MVP as far as I'm concerned. I don't care what the boat says. I don't care what the numbers say on Monday when they come out. McKenna Melville is this league MVP. And she kept this team together tonight. Even when cracks were starting to form, she didn't let it happen. She just plugged it up and said, no, we're gonna win. And boy, those players come along once in a lifetime.
You mentioned obviously being shorthanded with no Amber Olsen and the quick turnaround. How do you feel the team kind of handled that offensively there? What were some things you liked and didn't, things you think you need to improve here with a quick turnaround?
I don't know that we're going to have a lot of time to improve things. You look at that first set, and I remember looking at the board, and I think they had 10 points, and I looked down at the stat sheet. We had 8 errors. We had 7 errors at the media timeout, 7 hitting errors at the media timeout. We've gone matches where we haven't had 7 hitting errors. And at the first 15 points, we already had 7. So, really, I think if I was to look for quick fixes, how can we find ways to limit the unnecessary errors? There's going to be errors. It's a game of errors. You're going to miss. You're going to get blocked. You're going to miss by a couple inches. Those things are going to happen. You're going to have 3-4 errors a set. It's the 7, 8, 9, 10 that you have to avoid, because it means the team only has to get 10, 11, 12 points on their own. Well, and that's kind of what happened that first set. I think we had 11 errors. They had 14 kills. That's 25. We lose the first set. So what went well? Honest to goodness, culture went well. Leadership went well. Players who haven't played the role that maybe they were hoping to play during the year came out. That went well. Was it always pretty? No. Winning ugly went well. And sometimes you just have to be willing to crawl into the mud and the poop and whatever and just win. And are we going to say this is a match of the ages, a match of the century? No. But you know what? It's a tournament win. And I felt like we earned it. I'm not going to lie. I felt like we earned it.
That fifth set, they made some big mistakes. It seems like your experience carried you through.
Possibly. I don't know. They're a pretty experienced team over on their side, coached extremely well. I mean, Barnes he's an unbelievable coach. And, I thought they did some good things. I felt like we were constantly adjusting, trying to chase them. First thing we changed was a lineup. Then we changed matchups. And then we changed, I just felt like we were chasing the whole time, trying to find something that would keep us 2 points better than them. And I think you're right. It just came down to execution of some of the simplest aspects of volleyball when it came down to the end. I thought we were just pretty strong at it. And I think that put us over the top.
That third set in these conference tournaments have become magical for you. In a Cincinnati championship match, you were down, made that late run, pulled it out 26-24. Here today, you're down to Tulane. Looks like they're going to take the third set. You make the run. You take it 26-24. Big to find ways to win that third set was huge.
Yeah, and that was, you look at somebody like Kat Westlich. A coach usually doesn't get too excited when he looks back and see his middle serving. They're not known for their defensive prowess. And she went on a tremendous run, aces. Our best point scoring, our best serving rotation was Kat's rotation. And I can't even tell you how many times I leaned into Brian's ear, said, maybe we should go with a sub here. Maybe we get the defense. He said, no, just let her go. She's the better server. And we went with it. And Brian's absolutely right. We just rolled with it, and she was successful. And so there's just, so many little things over a 2.5-hour match that it goes one way, match goes the different way. It goes a different way, match goes our way. This was a 50-50 coin toss, and the coin landed right on the edge, and it just happened to fall and tip in our direction.
You mentioned Chloe and Stella and their play. Was it your intention to use them the way that you did, or did that happen organically as part of the flow of the game?
I would say it happened organically as the game went on. We thought maybe giving them a different look at the other left side hitter might change the dynamics of their block. Chloe in the back row gives us pretty strong defense, pretty strong passing. Now she can't attack out of the back row. That's not a defensive specialist forte. So we knew we were going to give up some back row attacking stuff, but we just thought different arm speed. It's just like changing pitchers, different arm speed, different arm slot, different styles of hitting the ball. We thought maybe we could get them confused a little bit. And the first one kind of snuck through the block because the block timing wasn't right. Then she got blocked, but then she came up with a great tip later. She noticed it. And so, yeah, it was just a matter of just trying to change things up a little bit. They certainly weren't expecting it. I know that. And I thought it worked out well for us. And it's nice to know that we have, two good L2, well, actually they're L1, but two good left side players that we can put in there and interchange if we need to.
You mentioned Catherine's serve. You got some free points there in the second, third set, as you mentioned, to help turn those sets around. Is that something you may have to lean on more in the championship here with the offense being what it is? Get some free points. And then what was your thoughts on your defense?
I thought first of all, the offense is going to get better. I think, it's one more day of practice that we've had under our belt with the offense and then had to do it under a pressure situation. You can't mimic this pressure in practice no matter what. The serve is always going to be our bread and butter. Our ability to serve is always going to dictate our best chance of winning or not. Kat is one of those players. So now the question about the defense, 90 digs tonight in 5 sets, that's a lot. That's really, I don't know what the numbers are. Sean will tell me later, but that's amongst the most that we've had all year long per set. I thought our defense was really, really good. We had a lot of digs out there that we didn't get, that we should have had, that we could have got, maybe ended rallies earlier. The block was not effective point scoring tonight as it has been in the past, but it was effective in putting balls back and making them take another swing at it. I thought that the block was intimidating at times, but then again, they're not a team that gets intimidated very much. So, I'm not going to lie. This is really as a coin flip, and we came out on the right side of it for a lot of different reasons, way more than I even have time to describe to either of you.
Post McKenna said on the broadcast, we had a little bit of a funky system we were running, but we executed well. What do you make of her statement there?
Is that what she said? McKenna's very colorful, and she probably said it better than I ever could. So we'll go with that. It was a funky system that we were running, and it was good enough to be good today.
Survive and advance at the end of the game. That's the name of the game here. You move on to that. Do you feel that your players too could have maybe play with more relaxed? Do you feel that they were maybe a little, because of the changes, they were a little maybe nervous at the beginning?
I don't know if there was nerves at the beginning because of the changes. I felt like we had 2 good practices. It just was only 2 practices though. So I don't know, that's gonna be a better question for you to ask McKenna what their frame of mind was. We felt like they were relaxed. I don't know what they really were on the inside. I know Tulane was amped up. I know Tulane, they smelled blood in the water knowing that there was a change, and they were going to try to take advantage of it right away. And they did. So I think it probably had to do a lot more with Tulane than it did with us. I thought, they really came out on fire. They were passing 90%. They were hitting almost 500. So I think it probably had more to do with Tulane than it was with us. But you can ask McKenna, and I'll be interested to hear what she has to say.
McKenna also said on the broadcast that on a late timeout, you tried to calm everyone down, and she's trying to fire everyone up, and that the right balance was found.
Mac and I have history. We have 3 years of history. And at the end of the day, there's not a person I would rather be in a trench with in a battle than McKenna. So if it takes me trying to calm it down and her trying to amp it up, and somehow it works out in the middle, that's fine. But there's not another person I would rather go to battle in that moment with than her.
Do you both push each other? Like, she's so emotional at times, and
Absolutely.
you want the most out of her, but
absolutely. Absolutely.
you,
And it's not always pretty in practice. And sometimes things are said back and forth. That's always a fine line as a coach. How much do you let a player insert their opinion versus how much do you have power? And I think as I've gotten older as a coach, I've tried to learn when I want to do what's right versus when I want to be right. I don't need to be right all the time. And if I can think and what she's doing or what she's saying might be the better course of action, I'm not too big to change my mind. In my younger days, I probably was. That's the difference of doing right and being right. I don't need to be right all the time.
So what's preparation like now over the next 24 hours? And I gather you go ahead without Amber?
Well, yeah, I think that's obvious. I think when we have when we have the reason that Amber's out, I don't know what's public, what's not. And I don't want to violate anything. So it's going to be a little bit before she comes back. Hopefully, if all goes well, hopefully if we're able to pull it out tomorrow and we survive and advance again, maybe there's a good chance that we see her back on the floor. But until then, we're just going to get better with the group that we have. And I continue to bet on my team. Told you guys that the last time. I continue to bet on my team.
how much of the focus here in the next 24 hours will be on your opponent, whether it be Houston or Temple? How much of it is going to be on internally on yourself?
Yeah, I think initially the focus is going to be on Houston. They're out there playing right now. And I'm going to get out there. Brian and Jenny are already scouting them. I'll get out there, start scouting them. But it's certainly, there's going to be some review of our own. Jenny will probably be with the setters and kind of let them look at, their decision-making, their location, things like that. Brian will probably be with some of the defensive players, helping them out. So it's going to be half and half, whereas a lot of time it'd be 100% on the opponent. There's still a component where we are a big opponent right now. We are our opponent, sure, Houston or Temple, because let's not just anoint Houston as the winner of the next match. That's going to be a fight out there. So whichever team wins, we'll do our best to get ready for them. And in the meantime, we'll do our best to make ourselves, again, the best us we can be.